Good morning, everyone. Peace and namaste. Welcome. And thanks for being here on this extra early morning. Hey, Wanda and Freetness and whoever else is here who hasn't said hi. I think I said hi to everybody. Um, because I had a little tech issue just now. I'm not sure what happened. I'm resetting up my page and I am not finding my notes. Hmm. Well, that's unfortunate. So I was going to talk this morning about, I had some extensive notes I was going to quote from Meister Eckhart, but somehow or other it all went away. Let me see if I can try opening this up one more time. And if not, I'll just talk. Nope, I guess I can't. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about goals in your mystical life. So if a person is seeking God, source, the divine, for the experience of bliss. It's like people say, I want a near death experience, or I want a mystical experience, or you want the divine feeling of the presence, the Shakti, you want the energy. If that becomes the goal, then it's actually in your way. That is a hard thing for most of us because the experience of the presence of the energy of the divine is so sweet, so like warm honey on your tongue that it becomes the thing that we want. If you had it once, maybe perhaps you want the same experience again. Well, first of all, you can't have the same experience again. I don't think I've ever read about a mystic or met one who's had a repeat of the previous experience. So that can be a block too. Craving the thing that's gone by because of what it gave you instead of feeling the gift that came with that. Not the experience, but the gift underneath it. And the gift underneath it is always the presence of the divine itself. And so looking back to a mystical experience and clinging to that as the hoped to have that same thing happen to me again becomes a barrier because it's a thing that happened to you other than the presence itself. If one seeks the bliss of God, then you might never have it again because you're looking for the gift rather than the giver. And that's a hard, difficult barrier to get over. It's the similar idea to the only thing that prevents you from reaching nirvana is your desire for nirvana. If it's the feeling and the bliss of the presence that you want, then that becomes a block because it's not the divine itself. It's still an idea or an experience. It's the presence of the divine actually isn't even a feeling. I know we do this phase lock thing where Shakti moves among us and deepens our mystical experience, deepens our prayer life, our centering in. I know that happens because I feel it. I feel it when I enter into the peace itself, but I don't seek that feeling. That's not the goal. That's a result of the goal. The peace isn't the goal. The divine presence is the goal. The being quiet and allowing it to speak for itself. Anything other than that is an imposition of a will that is not the divine will. And that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing because once you have the experience, the desire for the divine is tied up in that experience. And as Janet said yesterday at Mystic Tea Salon, when she was talking about the Aramaic, The good tree produces good fruit and the bad tree produces bad fruit. That's what it says in the Koine Greek, or the interpretation, the translation of it into English. But in the Aramaic, it's ripe fruit versus unripe fruit. The tree produces ripe fruit and unripe fruit. And unripe fruit, in this case, is the desire for the experience of the bliss, the desire for the experience of the presence, instead of desiring the presence itself. Because the presence as it comes into our bodies is always filtered through our brains, our DNA, our character, our experience, our education, the whole kit and caboodle, all of it. And because it's filtered, so it comes to us through the filter. And that includes not only our experience of it, our memory of our experience of it, but even our feeling of our experience of it. Because the divine isn't even the feeling that we have as a result of it. And when we desire to have the same mystical experience again, it's actually the feeling that is the opening for us. So there is a trap right there. So one enters into the memory of the feeling of it rather than a memory of the thing of it. But by entering into the feeling of it, one even has to, once inside the feeling of it, abandon the feeling of it. I know that that's contradictory. I know that that's paradoxical. It's irrational. I don't know what to do about that. So, the desire for the bliss of the divine actually isn't the true seeking of the divine. That's true. Paramahansa Yogananda, and I had other people prepared. Meister Eckhart, the same thing. Baba Dam Ras, same thing. Baba Ramdas, said it backwards, dyslexic. Baba Ramdas. So there we have it. I'm going to say hi and good morning to everybody. Magic Cat. You didn't miss the first few seconds, Wendy, because there was a glitch somehow in the system and I had to shift screens. It didn't actually begin on the way I thought it was going to this morning. Hey, Sarah. All right. It wasn't just you guys. It was a glitch in the system, and I hope that you caught all of it from the bell. I did ring the bell at the beginning when it said to me it was live. I hope you heard that. I am positive I need more time, instruction, and understanding. It's the thing about it is, Kristen, is that it's even my talking about it is not the thing itself. So even if I could try to teach you with more understanding what I'm trying to say, I can't really ever say it. It's only a thing that can be encountered. And the way that it's encountered is through the negation of the self. We're back to that again. So even in the when you enter into the feeling of the memory of the mystical gift that you've been given, and you enter into that feeling, once inside that feeling of the place, that to continue using the mind to produce or resurrect or recreate or access that feeling, to use the mind in that way is still a preventer. It's an access for sure. Go into it and use it as a window back into the divine presence. But once inside the divine presence, abandon yourself again. And that includes the abandonment of the feeling of itself. The only way that this is really understood is the doing of it. I wish I could, maybe someone else can say it more clearly than me. But the truth is, the giver, not the gifts. And the feeling is actually a gift. And when one attaches to the gift rather than to the giver, one puts a block in one's way. And that doesn't mean that there's not going to be continued advancement, okay? That is the fruit continues to ripen, even if there's a block in the way because of the desire for the divine. But ultimately, it becomes a barrier that needs to be abandoned. And if one practices the abandonment of self as the part of the process, that aspect of the process becomes self evident when it just happens to you by grace. And then you get what you want because you don't desire it. Hey, dad, I know you're going to leave me $1 million, but truly, I love you so much that I don't really care about the money. So you do with it whatever you want. I want you. The inheritance would be great, but who I love is you. All right. Hi, Sarah. So it is not so much intangible, but more ineffable because it must be felt. Yes. Yes. Okay. So it is ineffable. It is unspeakable and it can be felt, but even the feeling of it is not the thing itself. It's the expression of the filter in which we live. The original self lies even deeper inside of that. The feelings are blissful. I mean, I live in the feeling of peace because it is this bliss presence, but it is not the thing itself. And if I seek the peace itself, I lose the peace itself. And I haven't talked much about this in my mystical life, but this is a truism for me. When I was younger and I began to explore how to do what I'm doing with my interior life, I desired the gifts. I thought about, manifesting objects and manifesting healing, and which are just unripened fruit. They're great, and they're very showy. But even Jesus gave up doing miracles in the Gospel of Mark because people wanted the miracles and not the thing itself. And so the feeling of the divine, this essence that we share here on purpose, isn't the thing itself. And attachment to the bliss is ultimately in your way. Um, it is ineffable, and what that means is it's only experiential. I can't. Everybody has to go there on their own. You have lots of helps along the way. Teachers here, teachers there, mystical experiences, peace in your meditation. These are all helpers along the way. But ultimately, when you die, you don't have a body anymore. And when you die and don't have a body anymore, that means you don't have feelings like you think you do now. I do now. Those are productions of my physical body. Those are left behind at death. The original self lies deeper inside than that physical form. Physical is an expression, not the speaker. Emotion, feel not emotion, but the feeling of the presence of the divine is an expression, not the speaker. No, that's it. I mixed that up. Is the expression not I don't know, the person feeling the feelings. I couldn't make that one work so well. All right. My best explanation I learn over and over again is just to get my ego out of the way and let God flow. Time to put baby down for a nap. I say to my ego, that's true, Wendy. That's that's why the breath practice of self negation or non attachment to self, because the ego remains, okay? It does not vanish. I still have one. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I still have one, but you have to have one to live in the world. But the attachment to it, the false self, goes away. Time to put the baby down for a nap. Let it go to sleep. Seeking is a process to wash both the inside and the outside. Seeking till the end prevents forgetfulness. Thank you, Robert. Lynn, Each time I tune in, your words speak directly to me. This was perfect match this morning, and I am working on this. God so wills. So be it. So mote it be. Aho, all those things. I just follow the spirit myself. I'm a seeker. I'm a seeker. I've found, okay? But like Robert said, I seek until the end. In my case, I don't think I'll have forgetfulness, but I can produce a block. And that, I guess, is a form of forgetfulness, actually. As I talked about a few minutes ago, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing when I was younger, as I was trying to figure out what had happened to me, and I began looking around and I thought about manifesting objects, or manifesting health, or some object or something. I as I found that there were blocks, and those blocks became a forgetfulness. And the way that I prevent my own forgetfulness, not that I would ever shut off, because it's never freaking shut off in my entire life. No, not a moment of my day goes by that the presence of the divine is not shining everywhere I look, inside myself. But to be in the presence of it, and rather than fight against the presence of it, I had to end myself, or my attachment to myself. Anyway, we only have about 12 minutes left. We should get to the meditation, yeah? Sarah K., I've been contemplating lately the concept of not being the body and saying things like, I am the seer that is peering through. You are the seer peering through. You are the witness that is this thing I'm talking about, this little God speck inside of you is the witness. That's who you are. Seeking till the end prevents forgetfulness. You get kudos there, Robert, from PL. But we only have about 10 minutes left, so let's get to the meditation. Hey, Siri. No, she's not talking to me. She does that sometimes. I'm going to set an alarm for 8:30. There we go. All right. 3 ohms. Listen to your breath. Use your subtle spine. If you're new here, pick a prayer word, follow your breath into your belly breathing, breathe it back out your nose again, and concentrate on your breath and your chant, your prayer chant. Pick a word: love, peace, a prayer from your childhood, a number. Pick a number if you want to, blue if you want to. Concentrate on using your breath and your prayer chant in sequence together. Not sequence, but in collaboration together. And when your mind wanders, come back to your breath. Everybody else who's been practicing with me, remember to use your subtle spine, run up and down your spine, or find another pattern that you've been using. I don't want to use up all our time with talking. Let's get to meditation. That's what we're here for. Where 2 or more are gathered, the presence of the divine multiplies itself. 3 ohms to begin. Follow your breath. Listen to your breath. Feel it. Peace and love, everyone. Namaste. Thanks for being here.